was only one scene. I remember coming on set and being like, hey, I don't know you very well, Gerard, but I was thinking, can I give this character like a weird blink and just make, and he was like, sure, go for it. And maybe that helped me be memorable to him, for him to hire me again. But that was a really lovely experience. Jaquie was gorgeous and she kept giving me lots of lovely compliments during the whole thing. But you know, when you're really young as well and you go and just do something and you kind of have the audacity of youth. I don't remember being nervous or anything. Again, it was one scene, but I don't remember being nervous or anything. I was just like, of course, yeah, I should go and do a role in a TV show. So that was that. I remember having one day of coming home and actually having a bit of a cry, not because it was a bad day, but because it was so full on, and it was a really good lesson because I wanted to give everybody a piece of my energy, and you want to be a nice person, and but things are happening so fast that I didn't realize that nobody's going to get offended if, you know, the makeup woman or man is not going to be offended if you decide not to talk to them while they do a touch-up between scenes because you just need to stay in your head and hold back your energy. And so everybody who came and touched me and prodded me, and especially when you're a new character, I found costume and makeup spend a little bit more time with you because they're figuring out you. So you're being poked and prodded a lot, which, you know, each poke and prod takes a little bit of energy, and especially when you're going, thank you, oh, thank you, yes, oh, thank you, to everybody, and then action, and then just dung, dung, dung. And yeah, it was just, and because they'd shot a full day in my set where my character lived, and I just remember going home and having a little bit of a cry in the shower. Oh my God, it's just like, yeah, really met that form, but that was a really great experience nonetheless. So yeah. There's a scene in Piece of My Heart where my character June has just had her baby and the baby's been taken away from her, and she's putting on a really strong front about how, like, she doesn't mind, and it was ugly anyway. It just looked like a prune with hair, and before I shot the scene, you know, I'd spent a week waddling around with this belly on, and something very intuitive about having a belly as a woman, whatever, but that's, it really made an impact. And before that scene, I really got really emotional because then I didn't have the belly on anymore, because and it really just kicked me in the guts how awful that was, how real that felt, like to have your baby taken away from you, like it's been hanging out with you for that long. They wanted a blonde because Lynn was blonde, and I auditioned. I think even my agent was like, look, they want a blonde, so but just go for it anyway. It was one of those like I won't get it ones. And then I had a really lovely audition, and then of course as soon as you dangled something you go, oh, maybe I do really want it. And I did this whole, I haven't actually told anyone this, Andrew, but I did it like I photoshopped my headshot to have blonde hair. I thought maybe I could send it to them and like convince them, like if they just put a wig on me or they dyed my hair. And then I couldn't quite get it to look right. But then yada yada yada, got the part, and they did dye my hair. It was a very long process, but I actually did look quite similar to the weird Photoshop. Kylie is probably closer to my id than any other character, because I think some actors find it really easy to get to a place of sadness, to get to cry on cue, and other actors find it very easy to get to a place of rage. And I'm one of those actors. I find it really hard to cry, and I'm so jealous when I see an actor just pink. I'm like, oh my God, they're a real actor, they can do tears. But so Kylie was sometimes challenging because she took a lot of taming, and sometimes I had to stop myself from being a complete asshole on set, because she got me angry. And also, you know, it was an escalator film. You're getting paid minimum wage when you break it down, if that, in the winter, in an old house. And you're like, what is this film? And you're super tired. It was really hard. But I'm really glad it's been a success. Yeah. We had a real riot, actually, the two of us, because there were times where, because the filming was so down to the bone of what we were able to achieve with the time, with the money, with everything, that it was sometimes absurd, and we would just get each other into hysterics of of laughter, and so maybe that was pretty good to translate. She's also just a big kid as well, so which is exactly what you want in another actor, because it's all just play. We get sometimes paid to play and make believe, so that probably helped with the relationship there. And I think we're probably quite similar actors, so we get off on trying to emulate little idiosyncrasies. And one of my favourite ones that she does, and she does it in Housebound. You have to look out for it. She does this thing where she goes, yeah. It's great. I always remember doing one scene. We'd done a few takes, and then hearing the continuity saying to Mike, the director, do you want to do a take where Morgana does the actual lines, and being like, this is the best job. But there was that's such a great freedom, and Ollie and Tammy, you know, before a take would be like, do you think I should do it like this or like this? And oh, you should definitely do it that way. And sometimes it would fall flat, and Mike was amazing, because he'd be like, ha ha ha, yeah, let's do it like the writers have wrote it, just maybe one time. And you'd be like, true that, good call, that one wasn't quite as funny as it could have been. Yeah, so that was really great, and it was sad that it didn't go for a second season, that it, you know, I don't want to rant too much, but, you know, you give something one season, like, have the balls to make it go again, because it can get better. It was the first time I'd had children as my children in a show, and I remember being quite nervous about that, because there were lots of moments which called for huge acts of protection and fierce mama love for these kids, which I was happy to go there, but, you know, they're still kids and they're not actors, and, you know, and you go, oh God, like, I have to grab you and be like, no, my babies, you know, like, am I going to scare the shit out of you? And how lovely it is to watch these kids, like, that's absolutely what they know. Like, there's a moment where I get brought to the safe house and they're already there, and I scoop them up with huge relief and love, and so they're told to run down the hallway to their mum and, you know, be happy to see their mum. And I'm going, okay, I hope they're going to be all right with this, because if they don't come to the party emotionally, I'm going to have to help them get there, and I don't want to embarrass anyone. But they were like, just like action, zoomed down the hallway and leapt onto me like a real child would, which at the time I didn't really know. I knew from looking after kids that they are just big balls of love, and they just, you know, that's what they do. But doing that was so wonderful. Like, you know, it's hard pressed to find that from another actor who could just that free to just run down a hallway and leap onto your chest, like literally knees up. That was really cool. Before I started, I was speaking to my friend Hannah Marshall. She was in Pact of the Rafters for a while, and she said this wonderful thing was, like, when you're doing television like that, it's great because you can really try to do things that, like, what can you get away with? Can you get away with faking a yawn? Like, when do you ever get to do that on screen? Like, little challenges to yourself. Obviously not to the detriment of the story, but like, I went for about a month there. I just tried to have a banana in as many scenes as I could. there were some scenes which would totally not call for a banana, but it was just like a fun little challenge to myself to sort of try and keep things hilarious for me. And I think in the end, the art department was slightly in on it. I was like, can I get another banana in this scene? They're like, yeah, but Morgana, you're doing yoga. Yeah, but then she might have a banana for a snack. Who knows? Just holding it. People hold bananas. It's real.